Yeah, you gotta remember, there's my dad again, and there's a picture of me when I'm a child. You know, do either one of me and my dad, doesn't that look, like that could be father and son? Well, I'm telling you, it is father and son. And then I've got two other brothers. I've got supposed to have two other sisters, but one of them isn't really my sister. One is one that's been passed off. You see, my mother hates my guts for number one. I came into this world breech, and I tore her up, and she couldn't have children no more. So she was very bitter, and she didn't mind. She hated me. She didn't mind me being put in a cage. She didn't mind abusing me. She didn't mind doing the shit that she did. She didn't mind doing the stuff that she did to my dad. I witnessed the woman do terrible things to my dad. I remember my dad turning to me in the car while Marietta was driving, and he said, "She's trying to kill me." He looked right at me in the back seat, and he says, "She's trying to kill me." You know, and that was prior to the Shortridge murder. You know, he was being forced to do it, and she was doing it, and the goddamn cops were involved in it too, like Don Chambers of Morton, Washington. That works as a dog catcher right there in Chehalis now. And he had a wife named Nyla. When Jerry Wright got married, there was a great big party at the VFW hall over there in Morton, Washington, right there at the Jubilee Park. When my sister Bonnie got married, they had a party in that town over there, Mossy Rock. The whole town came to this parties for Jerry and Bonnie. I guess the whole town will remember them. I mean, when my dad had a party, I mean, he bought I think he bought two cases of a case of whiskey and a case of vodka for Bonnie's wedding, and a keg. And for Jerry's, he got a keg of beer and a case of whiskey, maybe two cases of whiskey, like that. And Jerry got a band called Stage Fright with Neb's Nanny, and Nub Nanny, he was a guitar player up there. Stage Fright. Actually, Nub Nanny went on the Gong Show. So he's featured on the Gong Show, Neb Nanny from Morton, Washington, whatever. So where are you from, Morton, Washington? Well, where's that sneeze? Anyway, the home of the Loggers Jubilee. Okay, well, that's good enough. So anyway, lemonade stand. Now, the biggest lemonade stand in the world. So anyway, I've gone through all that, and through history and stuff, I go and I start jumping around a little bit on this, and I start talking about how I've been in bowling, in the bowling alley and stuff. And here I've got some other stuff. I've got a picture of Gary Locke here. I've got a picture of this because they've treated us like handicapped people. The Republican Party, they're sitting there as law enforcement officers in the community saying, and somebody's out there enjoying their Thanksgiving dinner tonight, and they ripped off this hijacking thing, and all of a sudden this DB Cooper's this folk hero that's jumped out of the sky and's having turkey dinner, and man, oh man, does it get better than that on Thanksgiving? Well, let me tell you about it. I never had Thanksgiving with my family, and because of that stunt, I've never had fucking Thanksgiving with my family ever again. And if I did have any meals with my family, they're always sitting there watching me really goddamn weird, like, how's he gonna react? And I'm like, what is wrong with these goddamn people? In Port Angeles, I was poisoned in my sister's bedroom. I was taken to Hurricane Ridge so I could fall to my death because one, well, his eyes are crossed up. There's something wrong with him. He needs to die. They got this mentality. If there's something wrong with you, he needs to die. You know, because they sit there and looked at Terry Shortridge, and all of a sudden they're telling me stuff like He had Hodgkin's disease. We did him a favor. He needed to die. My mother says my brother Jerry had rickets when he was a kid. He needed to die. Well, my mother was the oldest, and she made sure that she ate first, and anybody under her ate less. You know, I mean, this is no more than Jerry Wright was in Port Angeles, Washington. He's walking around the house with fucking mixing bowls with cereal in it. You know, there's no cereal for anyone else. He might give you a bite out of it. There's some milk. There's some floating piece of cereal left. Take my bowl to the kitchen. You know, I'm nothing more than their goddamn slave in Port Angeles. Take my dishes to the kitchen. Go find dishes in the front room. They would lay their goddamn dishes and stuff around the where they sat. They'd fucking come out there, eat, set their dishes down, and go get dishes. You know, I remember one time I actually started getting an allowance for doing something like that, and it was so, I mean, it wasn't nothing. It was then more of an insult than anything else, even as a child. I mean, so anyway, here I'm running a bowling alley in Chehalis, and, you know, I've been approached by Gary Locke's secretary from the governor's office at the Lucky Eagle Casino. I'm down there making money because I told Herb I needed a raise and he's not paying me enough. And that's what happened in that bowling alley over there in Chehalis. I filled it up. I filled up the place. The guy couldn't pay me. It even made him an extra $200,000 a year while I was there, and he couldn't pay me. You know, he wanted to put me on salary and run me hours. And when I got there, he said, I'll pay you for all your hours that you work, you know. There's my dad, and he's with that woman, and if you look at the boots, there's his wing walker boots that he brought back from North Korea when he got kicked out the first time. You see, he got kicked out of North Korea. You know why? Because he was too young. He went over there because he was on the run as a chicken thief. Look at my dad's hands right there. Pretty good sized hands. Boy, I'll tell you what, when he slaps you and he gives you a little of this with those hands, you fucking find out how goddamn how he'll wipe the look right off your fucking face. You know? And Don Burgess sat right there and he watched Chris Orlando get punched in the face right over the car because Chris Orlando confronted my mother in the bowling alley. Running down there getting a strike, running up to the front till, getting in my mom's face. You know, I'm told, you better get out of here, there's trouble coming, John. You know, because there's something bad going to happen there. And, I'm told when there's something goes to happen, you get the fuck out of here. That's like Dad playing pool for $10 a ball. You know, at $2 and $3 and $5, you could stand there at $10 a ball. Get the fuck out of here. I'm playing pool, man, and he'd be playing pool inside that place, and people would be calling George Minnesota Fats inside that bowling alley. They had a whole bunch of pool tournaments. When George got into those bowling alleys, instantly there was fucking pool tournaments. The guy couldn't bowl worth a fuck, but he could play pool like you wouldn't goddamn fucking believe it. I never seen my dad lose a pool game. He was that good at pool. And then, you know, I was writing a book and stuff, and whenever I write a book and I get online, I start doing stuff and uploading it and stuff. When I was doing this one, I was getting blocked. What was blocked? I was getting my computers crashed. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, they'll go after you at different ways to block your thing. That's a good picture of my brother Jim. That's a good picture of my dad. That is my dad. Oh, you see the little thing? And by the way, you see that little thing? There's a pickup and a camper down there. Is the guy in the suit. The little Zodiac thing. My dad had a brand new Ford pickup, and that's how he got around in California, brand new Ford pickup. And then he brought that car. I think I've gone over this. Okay, I'll show you this anyway. Right there, there's the inside of the bowling alley. Looks kind of scary, like a dungeon. The Dungeon of Doom from the Zodiac Killer. Right there. That's the Dungeon of Doom of the Zodiac. And oh, that's something. Here's the $20 bill. Here's the picture from inside that bowling alley with the $20 for the $20 ticket mean for the airplane for the $200,000 stunt. And they're doing it brazenly right there in the open. There's the 8 butts, 8 pork butts for those 8 cigarette butts in the flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. Here they go. Linda Stanley put this picture there. She put that picture with the bowling alley in the back. They painted it sheriff's green back there, and it says Bill Fairhart right there. And look, they cleaned off the letters. The art, can you see the art in it? There's Uncle Bill, like Uncle Sam. I'll tell you what, this is Hezbollah, and this is in Morton, Washington, you guys. And right there on that side next to the heart, there's the Browns mortuary, and I got Brown's property right here behind this here house in Olympia. This is an inside job. You know, are they clearing off this property because they're going to put a cemetery out here? Because that's what I figured they were going to do months ago. They were going to clean off this property because they were going to end up burying dead Americans right here in this property right here. Is what I figured. And I'm going to cut this off. My camera went blurry right there. Anyway, I'm going to shut this off because you know what? This is how they want you to see it. They don't want you to see what it's really about. But this is what it's about. This is about D.B. Cooper. This is about the FBI. This is about Norjack. And this is about Hezbollah. This is about the Twin County credit unions filtering money into the Middle East. This is about from the river to the sea, and there's a gold mine at Freeport Gold. And a port goes through ports to the river, to the sea. My folks, my stepdad and my mom was involved in that too, down there at Elko, Nevada. I'm bringing it to everyone's attention. I'm trying to do what's right, and I'm the victim. And they plastered my face all over the United States of America, along with my brother's face on the coffee cup here, my dad's face too as well. Framed. Thank you for your time, and you have a great day. My name's John Wright. They're not.